E.N.D here. Now that E.N.D Crimson Vow, the second set in the third time visit of E.N.D have been released, what we start to talk about? Obviously, the next set, Kamigawa Neon Dynasty. As soon as a set is released, we tend not to care anymore. Finally, we are going back on Kamigawa after 18 years of tease and hope. But Kamigawa have changed, and we're not going back to the original Kamigawa settings. Kamigawa Neon Dynasty will be set in a futuristic age, 2000 years after the conclusion of the original Kami War. The planes feudal past have met futuristic modernity, with ninja and samurai now carrying a cyberpunk aesthetic. But what does this set has in store for us? For the time being, we have very few information, only speculations, predictions, dreams, and hopes. The only information we have as at the recording of this video is that this set will feature a new planeswalker, Kaito, a cyber ninja, and there will be a new, unknown, but somewhat familiar emperor replacing Konda. So, here are my Kamigawa Neon Dynasty predictions. But first, let's have a brief look at my E.N.D Midnight Hunt and Crimson Vow predictions and let's see how I scored. Total score 73 out of 90. What I correctly predicted is that these two new E.N.D sets will be going back to the original E.N.D horror theme, with vampires and werewolves against each other and humans fighting back. The return of DFC's double face cards, returning mechanics, new Sorin and Arlene Planeswalker cards, and no Eldrazi. Something that also predicted well was that this biggest wedding in E.N.D history wouldn't be a happy wedding, but more similar to a Game of Thrones wedding, with werewolves crashing the reception. On the other hand, what I predicted wrong were Sorin and Olivia marriage, and a return of Talia in a new card. Overall, one of my best prediction videos. Thanks a lot. Let's not waste time and start. First prediction, old versus new. After 2000 years, Kamigawa have evolved in an advanced technological cyberpunk plane, but I don't believe that there are no places left from the old Kamigawa, the plane that we know. I predict that even though the feudal era is quite in the past, places like the Towabara Plain, Minamo Academy, Takenuma Swamp, Sokensan Mountains and Dujukai Forest will still feature in this new Kamigawa set. I also predict that these legendary settings will be quite transformed or urbanized. Something else, I believe that a recurring theme will be the struggle between progress, that is the new, and heritage, that is the old. Second prediction, ninja versus samurai. As we're going to explore a modernized Kamigawa, I'm sure that two particular creature types originating in the first Kamigawa block will play an important role also in Neon Dynasty, ninja and samurai. Samurai, also known as bushi, are warriors who have sworn their service and their lives to a single authority figure, usually the feudal lord, but on Neon Dynasty, I believe it will be the new emperor. We often find them equipped with long swords called katana or short sword called wakizashi. On the other hand, ninja, also known as shinobi, are masters of both stealth and armed combat. We usually find them as spies, warriors, mercenaries, or assassins. They use both weapons and magic to enhance further their abilities in stealth combat and infiltration. I also predict that these two particular creature types native of Kamigawa will have their weapons and abilities technology enhanced. Also, their abilities may vary depending on the weapon they are using. And why not, there can also be some sort of half-human, half-cyborg samurai ninja. Third prediction, the new emperor. One of the few things we know about Kamigawa Neon Dynasty is that it's ruled by a new, unknown, but somewhat familiar emperor. During the story of the first Kamigawa block, Kamigawa was ruled by Lord Konda, whom started the Kami War, a 20-year war between the mortals and the spirits. In Neon Dynasty, Kamigawa as said will be ruled by an unknown, but somewhat familiar emperor. Taking into consideration that no mortal is still alive from the first Kamigawa block, therefore I'm excluding any previous Kamigawa hero, I predict that the new emperor will be Tezzeret. I believe that Tezzeret as an emperor have contributed considerably in the advance in technology of the plane and the transformation of Kamigawa. His only motive is to take advantage of these new resources to free his master Nicol Bolas. Fourth prediction, Spirit Energy. The first Kamigawa block was all about the Kami War, a 20-year war between the mortals and the spirits. I don't think that Kamigawa Neon Dynasty will feature another Kami War, but I'm sure that Kami will still have an important role in this set. Kamigawa have found a new source of energy, and thanks to this new source of energy, the plane was radically modernized and transformed. I predict that this new source of energy is derived from the Kami or the Spirit's word. Mortals have found a way, it could be a device or a magic rite, to extract or harvest energy directly from the Kami. And as said, this energy have been used in the modernization of the plane, including the advanced weaponry of ninja and samurai. Fifth prediction, returning mechanics, especially from the old Kamigawa block. I'm sure that Kamigawa Neon Dynasty will have new mechanics, but also two particular returning mechanics. The first Kamigawa block had very particular mechanics that fit perfectly with the lore of those three sets, and they are quite difficult to feature in any other standard set. But Neon Dynasty is a totally new Kamigawa, a more futuristic, technology advanced set. Therefore, I predict that the only two returning mechanics from the old Kamigawa will be Bushido, which is usually seen on Samurai, and Ninjutsu, which is usually seen on Ninja. Sixth prediction, the return of flip cards. Flip cards were featured in the first Kamigawa block and are easily recognized by their unique card frame. The Champions of Kamigawa set contained 10 characters that became heroes, Betrayers of Kamigawa set had 5 characters that became spirits, Saviors Kamigawa had 5 monks that became enchantments. Even though they are considered as a failure, unpopular with players, and difficult to see further prints, I predict and I wouldn't be surprised if Kamigawa Neon Dynasty will feature a new cycle of flip cards. Seventh prediction, a new legendary land cycle. The original Kamigawa featured a particular cycle of legendary lands, one for each color, and all of them interacted with legendary permanents. Nowadays, these 5 lands are quite popular and expensive, therefore I don't think these will see a reprint in a standard set. These are more suited for a Masters or Secret Lair. Therefore, I predict that Kamigawa Neon Dynasty will have 5 new legendary lands that will interact with legendary permanents, and I wouldn't be surprised if these lands will be multicolor. 8th prediction, Mecha. Mecha is a Japanese term referring majorly to a science fiction anime genre that centers on giant robots or machines controlled by people. Mechas are typically depicted as humanoid walking vehicles. These extraordinary war machines vary greatly in size and shape, but they require a human pilot. Therefore, I predict that Kamigawa Neon Dynasty will feature artifact vehicle cars that resembles Japanese anime mechas. At this stage, I wouldn't even be surprised if we get another artifact mechanical dragon. In the history of Magic the Gathering, the most famous and powerful mechanical dragon is Ramos Dragon Engine. Because Kamigawa is well known for its cycle of 5 dragons, as said, I wouldn't be surprised if in a futuristic technology advanced Kamigawa will feature another powerful artifact mechanical dragon. 9th and last prediction, the return of another Praetor, Jin Gitaxias. In Kaldheim, we saw the return of one of the Phyrexian Praetors, Vorinlex, and we got 3 versions of that card, the normal, the showcase, and the highly sought out Phyrexian language. Therefore, I predict that in Kamigawa Neon Dynasty we'll get another Phyrexian Praetor, exactly 1 year after Vorinclex Monstrous Rider, as said Jin Gitaxias, the Blue Praetor, and same as Vorinclex, Jin Gitaxias will be printed in 3 versions, normal, showcase, and the Phyrexian language. A small note here, don't forget that in Magic the Gathering lore, Jin Gitaxias has a connection with Tezzeret. Let's see if both will feature and bring havoc on Kamigawa. So these were my 9 predictions for Kamigawa Neon Dynasty. Leave me a comment below what are your predictions for the so long awaited return on Kamigawa. And as always, don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more and more interesting videos about Magic the Gathering and the collectible world.